We're going to let our presenters kick things off here. My name is Vince Lowry. I'm the Director of Student Success and Engagement. I am also the Director of the Gateways to Phoenix Success Program. I have the privilege of moderating today's session, a 30-minute panel featuring Sherry Arndt from the Learning Center, Lynn Nemi from Disability Services, and then I'm going to be honest, and this is kind of where I am right now. It's a little bit late in the day. I wasn't sure. I see Daryl turned his camera on, so I'm going to say it's Daryl, the director of our Center for Advising and Retention. I know we also have our Assistant Director, Kim Lintner, in the room as well. But I think Daryl is, oh, no, Kim's going to turn her mic on, or her camera on, so okay. This is just where we are, folks. This is where we are. We're all just kind of working through the tech. Just happy we all made it to the same room at roughly the same time. So I'm going to stop yammering. And I'm gonna turn things over. We're gonna go in the same order we did last time. So Daryl, Lynn, and then Sherry. We're gonna let each of them introduce their services and that their offices provide. And then we'll come back through with questions. Please note the chat feature is there. You do have the opportunity to ask questions. We'll have some time at the end for a couple of minutes to ask questions. Again, as you come in, if you want to mute your mic and turn your camera off, that way our presenters will have the floor, but you can use the chat to ask questions. So Daryl, take it away.
Perfect. Thanks, Vince. Hi, everyone. My name is Daryl Runyer. As Vince stated, I'm the Director of Advising and Retention here at Green Bay. I want to welcome you all to campus and for your first semester. I always start these presentations off with a question to the students, and obviously I can't see all of you. But my question is, how many of you want to graduate in 4 years as quickly, efficiently, and cheaply as possible? And I ask that jokingly because it's kind of a trick question. You should all have your hands up. Academic advising helps you do that very thing. Our goal is to support you while you're here on campus and get you to this degree that you're going to have in 4 years so that you're marketable, so that you're ready for the world around you. So all of you are assigned a first-year advisor based upon your first-year seminar. And that advisor is going to stay with you throughout the first year. And what do? We do a host of different things. We're your advocate. We're your champion. We talk with you about navigating the student information system, what we call SIS. We work with you, about financial resources. We make sure that you just know where to go. We point you to the right direction and connect you. I've been doing this close to 20 years, and there is one thing that I know to be absolutely true with all the students who have graduated and done it efficiently and effectively, and that is they become extremely resourceful. And that's something you're going to hear your advisor talk about. It's something you're going to hear some of the other individuals in the room today talk about. Being resourceful is critical because life happens, and life will happen to you while you're at college. And it's not really a matter of the bumps in the road. It's how you kind of manage those bumps and you navigate them. And so having your assigned academic advisor there throughout that first year is just that go-to person. I cannot tell you how many times I've had advisees just come to me and say, Daryl, this seems like a silly question, but I have to ask. Do I need another science requirement? Where do I go for this particular service? I don't really know how to talk to my parents about what major I'm going to want to major in. Those aren't silly questions. Those are excellent questions. Those are the kinds of questions that will save you time and money as you earn your degree. So think of your advisor more broadly. Don't think of your advisor just as this person who's going to help you with requirements. Academic advisors are very focused on retention and student success. And so that's one of the messages I wanted you to take away. Now, when you declare your major, you'll also be assigned a faculty advisor. Your faculty advisor is going to be that expert or that specialist in the area. So if you declare business advisor will talk to you about careers, internships, jobs, sequencing of courses in the major, emphasis areas in a particular major, which one you should consider pursuing. They're kind of the expert in the major. The professional advisors there to help you with just about everything. So if there's a tip I can give all of you today, get to know who your assigned advisor is and reach out because we will be reaching out to you. I will post our website in the comments box. And then I know that Sherry and Lynn and Vince, we're all going to talk with you a little bit about Navigate, EAB Navigate. So I'm going to plug that as we turn it over to the next person. Thank you.
All right, so Lynn, you have the floor.
All righty, I'm ready. I'm Lynn Nemi. I'm the Director of Disability Services. I will share my screen. I'm kind of getting more technology savvy as we go along. I do also I will put in our website in the chat so you have that information available. But I do want to let you know that Disability Services is here for students with disabilities. So whether you had an IEP 504 or you might just know you have a condition that might impact you either academically, where you might need academic accommodations or need some housing accommodations, that's how you can apply for our services. Students may need more time to take a test, a distraction reduced. We have a great new note-taking tool called Glean that allows you to be in control of note-taking, but gives some support in the note-taking so that you can go back and make a really good set of comprehensive notes. It's really easy to apply for disability services. You can just log in through GB Access and apply for accommodations. And once you're an eligible student, you can request your accommodations all through GB Access. It's a great way for you to be able to show what you know, get the grades that you've earned. So I just want students to know, I think students sometimes don't know who can qualify, who can get service. We just need documentation of disability. So again, I would ask you, like, who do you think gets service from our office? Because I think that's always, like, I don't know if I need accommodations, but really our number one disability that students have that come in to get service is mental health. So someone with maybe anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, who might need some accommodations and can get support from us. Also, the other students that might receive services are students with attention deficit disorders, learning disabilities, and other health. Sometimes, students with diabetes or Crohn's disease or something that might impact them where they might need a short medical break or they need to be able to check their blood sugars so that they can have their phone out. Things like that might be something that students might not have thought about. I might need accommodations. So again, we do nothing special here. We're just about equal access. So students, if you need accommodations or someone might be struggling and need accommodations, come on and we could do virtual meetings. We prefer virtual meetings over the phone, and if needed, we can do in person. So we can just talk to you about what the process is. It's pretty easy. We want the harder stuff to be your classes. The easy stuff is to get accommodations. So if anyone has any questions at the end, I'll be glad to take them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn. So now we're going to slide things over to the Director of the Learning Center, Sherry Arndt. Did we lose you, Sherry? This is that moment where everybody, I think that we lost Sherry. So hopefully she'll hop back on. So in the meantime, while we're filling time, this is what happens with live TV, or in this case, live virtual panels. Daryl and Lynn, I'll pose a question you received last go around. Oh, Sherry's back. Look at that. I managed to fill the time just long enough for Sherry to get back in. So, but you're muted though, Sherry.
Okay, here I am. I'm going to, I have intentions to share my screen, but for some reason my computer is kicking back. I was just in a new tutor training for an hour. Okay. And it is really tired, and I think I'm meeting its bandwidth today. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Sherry Arndt, Director of the Learning Center, as Vince introduced me. I am here to talk to you about tutoring on campus. And this piece of document in front of you is telling you how we are accessing virtual tutoring this semester. We love to be face-to-face, but many of my students did not return to campus due to their own modes of courses. So in order to support, we went virtual so you can access them that way in this type of environment. The form says 2 easy ways to access tutoring, and all these services are free. So remember that, free, free, free. We're using Navigate, and Vince probably told you about Navigate, or you probably heard it during your orientation, but that fancy platform has an app, right? And you can make tutoring appointments based on your availability for the courses that are supported right from that app. You make your appointments. Easy, easy. You'll have to share that video again, Vince. It's so cool. I think you and Daryl made that, talking about how to schedule appointments. If for some reason you aren't able to download that app to your devices, then we have a virtual front desk. 5 of my staffers are also going to be manning the virtual front desk, so you can contact them by emailing sttutor1. This document also has a link attached, and I'll send that across on the chat too. So those people will be there between 9:30 in the morning and 6 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursday, a little shorter day on Friday, but they'll be able to help you schedule an appointment with a tutor if you don't want to use the app. So we can do that. You're going to get notifications this year. The app or the emails will be sent to you, reminding you so you don't miss those tutoring appointments, which are important. And I'll say it now, and I might say it at the end of the semester, at the end of the session. This is your world now, and it's time for you to make appointments for yourself. And you have it at the palm of your hands now. One other great resource, another free resource that we have on campus is BrainFuse. You may have heard some information about BrainFuse, but they're a vendor of online tutoring services who hire tutors that are degreed. They all have a degree in their area. And they are working with BrainFuse to help you in this virtual platform. All of those sessions are virtual as well. They're all over the nation. And you use your UW Green Bay email and contact information from whichever campus you're joining. And you get to use 6 hours of BrainFuse of tutoring per month. That can be done in minutes increments, or it can be done in hours at a time. It's up to you. But, you know, we're offering it to all our students on all 4 campuses. So that's why there's a limit right now. But I would encourage you to try it. It's great. We've got great feedback last semester. And in addition to using our virtual tutors, 2 great resources. So I've listed the Learning Center website, and I'll also list the links to our social media. It's listed up below here if you want to screenshot it. Otherwise, I'll try to keep up on social media with our friends in advising and the Director of Student Success, as they're really good with that. Any questions?
All right, so while we're kind of filling some time here, as you may be formulating questions, there are some links in the chat. The link to advising, the link to disability services. In addition, I posted a link to a YouTube video or video on YouTube describing how we utilize the app. I'm curious. We'll go back to the question I was going to ask right before Sherry was able to rejoin us. And I'll let her. I'll go in a little bit different order this time since she still has the floor. I'd like to hear from each of our panelists. What is it that keeps a student from walking through your door? And then, you know, you've talked at length about sort of the value of your services. I mean, obviously it's clear we're holding this panel because we want students to know about the services that you provide. But what is that one kind of, the student is there at your door, in this case, maybe a virtual door, but not quite crossing the threshold. What is the thing that that you think holds them back?
I'm going to mention that appointment making thing again. If you were a new freshman, you possibly had a significant other or someone in your home that maybe made appointments for you, maybe made an oil change appointment for your car, or maybe made a doctor's appointment for you. Well, now you're in charge and you get to make these appointments. I would ask anybody to not be afraid to make an appointment with a tutor, because those tutors are going to be part of your squad, and they're going to build a rapport with you. So when you make that appointment, you're going to get to meet a tutor that is passionate about their subject area, or they wouldn't be working for me. And in addition to talking about the course, you can also talk about things like, I don't know, I'm having a hard time getting along with my roommate. What did you do? That kind of stuff.
All right, Lynn?
Well, I think sometimes students just don't know that they could access our services. You know, students sometimes, you know, mental health disorders are being diagnosed as you're coming to college. So you might know, oh, I think I have test anxiety. Well, it's not test anxiety. It might be more of a generalized anxiety disorder. So maybe I can be afforded accommodations where some students haven't had accommodations in high school. So I would say it's kind of a 50-50 where students have come in and had an IEP. Some students think I'm not going to do it this time because I want to do it by myself, but they don't realize even when they come here, they're in charge. They are in charge of what accommodations they are requesting, what they need. Again, that's a difference from high school where they may be helping you, supporting you, checking, pushing, pulling. You're the adult here. So we want students to show what they know and get the grades that they've earned. College is too expensive not to get the grades that you should earn. So really utilizing your resources, going in your toolbox, grabbing what you need to be able to be successful. As I always say, you know, when you need your house fixed, you don't call the plumber to do the electric work. If you have a disability need accommodations, you use the disability services office. But I'm not going to be the academic advisor, nor am I going to be the tutor. So I think just knowing your resources in your tool belt will help you be successful here. So, and not, it's just life. I mean, I always say if you all live long enough, you're all going to have a disability. So be nice and let's just work together and get it done.
Daryl, final thoughts in response to this question. What keeps students from walking through your door?
Yeah, they hear the title academic advisor and they think that we only work with scheduling of classes and requirements and policies when it's so much more than that. I had a student a few years ago who came in, was homesick, just wasn't comfortable after that first day. And I was able to sit down with that student and make a connection. And that, again, you heard Lynn say it, you hear Sherry say it, you hear Vince say it. It's about connection. It's about being resourceful. It's about getting involved. It's about knowing that any problem you face on this campus, there's someone there that can help you out with that. And so one of the bumps we see sometimes is a student will wander into our office and, you know, say, well, I came in for a schedule issue, but I got this other thing happening. I can't afford a laptop, or, you know, my Wi-Fi isn't working out very well. We are here to help you with that also. So we are that advocate for you throughout that first year.
Again, for those of you who are checking into this session, you do have the opportunity to post a question in the chat. You'll see the little dialogue bubble with the 2 lines there. If you hover over the middle of your screen, you can post a question there. You're also free to, if you want to unmute yourself, ask a question. Feel free to raise your hand. That's another option. I appreciate how orderly Microsoft Teams tries to be as best it can. I wonder if we could kind of pick up on this theme. Lynn's got a question.
Sorry, that's me. I got y'all excited raising a hand. But I do also want to say in the 3-dot button, there is the turn on live caption preview. So say you're in a meeting and you're having a hard time hearing what the speakers are being said, or, you know, you can always turn on the captions. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but it will give you the gist of the meeting. And you will be able to see the captions and it's accessible. So one little tip as you're using Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, I appreciate that you mentioned that, Lynn, both to address the issue of accessibility, and also we are working to arrange Teams training for students. And so we're working with Microsoft to put sessions on the books so that students can learn how to use Teams. That's really how increasingly over the last 6 months the university has operated. And so it'll be really important to learn how to use Teams. It's a productivity tool. It's a meeting tool. It has a lot of different functionality that we want to be sure that you can maximize. So we've got about 10 minutes left, so that's plenty of time for us to answer more questions. But I'm gonna pose a question to the group and then mute myself because the neighborhood dogs are starting to get fired up here in the afternoon. I'm curious that piece of advice, right? What that one piece of advice you found yourself maybe giving students over the years, maybe there's a particular student who comes to mind who you just kind of, you offered those words of wisdom and you saw the difference that it made, and you saw the growth, the progress that student made. What's that one piece of advice, that one moment that you go back to and you think about, like, here's that moment? And I think everybody in, at UWGB could probably think of this moment where they impacted a particular student in a particular way. But what's that piece of advice that continues to hang with you that you've given a student and want to share with the group we have together today? Wow.
I can certainly jump in. I'm going to say something that runs a little counterintuitive to what you might be preparing for as students, but mistakes can be a good thing. Sometimes students come in and they'll go, Daryl, that quiz did not go well. And I'll say, that's okay. What did we learn? I think you're going to find your growth as a student and your growth as even after you graduate often comes from the times that things didn't go as you expected them to go, or classes weren't going as well as it was. I can't tell you how many students I've worked with over the years that found their major simply by exploring them and saying, I thought I was going to be a science major. It's not for me. Let's pivot to a different area. And before you know it, they found that major that really interests them. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Learn from the mistakes you make. By the time you are a senior, you're going to be flourishing with that. Again, I think learning in general is a growth process. And so from everything you learn, and I would say inside and outside the classroom, learn from your mistakes as you go forward.
I will say, trying to get more organized, because I think this is a safe place to start growing up, but you're going to have to get a planner and get organized, get involved too, but then also realize, the time to study, put that in your planner when you have exams, because the more you know, then versus like, I'm worried about it, the better you're going to be successful here, instead of worrying about, do I have a test? When I look at my planner, do I have a test? Do I have to read? Do I have to do things? The more organized you can be and start that organization, the easier college will become.
I would say it's okay to ask for help, because when you're coming to request help from my area, you're letting people know that you're not sure, you want help, you want questions answered. And that's good. That's what college is about. You don't need to know it all right now, right? You're learning. I'm learning every day. I'm learning this technology right along with all of you. And just being willing to ask for help, make an appointment, try us once. That's my challenge.
So I'll just say this is intriguing to me. So I've done a whole bunch of these sessions in different contexts, different audience, different panelists, faculty, staff, students. And what strikes me in hearing each of you describe kind of your advice there is that I hear this same top 3 points in every setting. How it's said might be a little bit different, but it's the same message. Explore and be open to failure, and understand failure is an opportunity to grow. That be organized and structured to navigate things, and then that last point, ask for help. When I can go to a half dozen different sessions, all featuring different speakers, and every single one of those sessions ends with the same pieces of advice, that says something about the merits of that advice. It's one thing for it to come, from a group of directors who we have here, so automatically it carries weight. But what I'm telling you is that it's across the board. Everybody's saying the same things. Everybody's delivering the same messages, and I think that says a lot. That tells you right there that this advice is not just top 3 for this group. It's tops for every session that I've been a part of. So we have a few minutes left. I could stall for a few more questions. But I'm gonna ask a different kind of question. It's gonna be sort of an odd. I'm gonna be an odd question. It's not meant to be a popularity contest. But I'm curious. I'm gonna ask the three of you if there's somebody that you feel like students on campus should get to know. Right? If there's a person, if there's an office, you're like, wow, every student should go through this door. Every student should get to know this one person, this one ally, this one person that's that can kind of be that like compass for students. Who's that one person everybody should reach out to and say hi to? So like, hey, like, can we talk for 10 minutes? Can we just chat? Daryl's got a smile on his face, so I'm gonna get Daryl had the kind of like the sly sort of Cheshire Cat look on his face. So I'm gonna go to Daryl first.
I'm thinking of, for me, the person that I'm thinking of is Alyssa Warpinski, who is the boss of our Green Bay one-stop shop. And for those of you who have taken a tour of Scene Campus, the Green Bay one-stop shop is behind that big glass window at the university. But their front desk, they can get you any resource, any person, any contact, even any question. They will have an answer for you and they will get you pointed in the right direction. So that's who I would say, simply from being resourceful, simply from being able to kind of know where to go on campus, to find resources very quickly and to understand those resources. I would say that.
That is definitely a Swiss Army knife answer, right? Like this is sort of like the pivot. Whatever tool you might need, whatever resource you might need, it starts with GBoss for sure. Lynn or Sherry, I don't know who wants to, which one of you wants to jump in next. You're both kind of, I can't tell if those are like smiles saying like, I know, or I don't know.
I just think to get to know your faculty and, get that mentor. My daughter came here and Dr. Levanatova was the person for her. I mean, I think you're going to find such good faculty, and you just got to find that one who you connect with and then becomes a great resource to you. We have so many good faculty. And then my other statement would be is challenge yourself, go into Mesa, go into the Pride Center, do something that you wouldn't normally do just to learn more, because this is a great place to really push your education out and the social education, go into student life. And if you don't like any of the student activities, make your own up. So I just have, there's so many wonderful people here that I think to challenge yourself in some way that you wouldn't have gone like, I don't want to talk to my faculty. Well, go ahead and stop in there. Steve Meyer is another one, go get, he usually has a juice or something or some kind of snack in there if you need it. Find those faculty that are just out there for you, because there's so many here that are.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, the idea of a faculty champion, everybody needs a champion. Everybody needs that person that's going to advocate for them. You never know. We had a student yesterday in a panel who talked about how they went to see a professor with a question about a class and walked out with an internship. You really never know what those conversations might yield. And then again, I think your second point there is important as well. College is not just about the academic piece. When we talk about student success, when we talk about thriving in college, it is a holistic idea. It's both academic and non-academic. And there's so many opportunities to get connected, even in what will be a virtual semester. So Sherry, we kind of came to the end here, and you've got you end up with the last word before we wrap. So who's your resource?
Well, I would say the four of us. Now you already know us, right? You know our faces, you know our voices, you know our quirky technological glitches, but the four of us, and also I challenge you to reach out to career services. That's a group of friends, colleagues that we work with too. And maybe you're not quite sure what you want to do. Maybe you have a major, but maybe you might be thinking, I want to change that major. Maybe you just really want to research. There are jobs that don't even exist yet for when you graduate, right? So get to know career services. That's my point.
So we've dropped a lot of knowledge on you today. The session was being recorded. We'll make that available. Again, hopefully the lesson you take away here is that UWGB is an institution that is going to surrounding you with support services. All you have to do is ask, and you'll have so many people in a position to help you in so many different ways, because we are collectively committed to see you thrive at UW Green Bay, to thrive after you leave UW Green Bay. And so all you need to do to access that support is to ask. I want to thank our panelists, Lynn, Daryl, and Sherry, so much for taking the time today. Thank you all for turning out today, and enjoy the rest of your day. Welcome to UW Green Bay. And again, with a question, all you need to do is ask.